Welcome. Welcome. I don't like that word. Greetings, everyone. I
Greetings,
know.
yes.
Yeah, welcome. It sounds like hell.
Well,
Greetings, everyone. Bienvenue. Bienvenue on the Truman Show. You see, it's better in French. It sounds better. So I'll just say it in French. Bienvenue on the Truman Show.
yes.
So, Frank, another again to have you on for the review of PT's book.
Always a pleasure. Yes.
We're doing this one a bit late because we had some obligation to fill. So, but we're here. It doesn't matter when we're here. It's timeless
Here
stuff
it is.
anyway. No?
Yeah.
This kind of work we're doing is gonna live forever. Like that's what I was telling my wife the other day. I'm gonna be speaking after I'm dead. That's pretty freaking amazing because my voice is resonating. I'm international too. Like Truman is international.
Right.
I have a dub plate. That's why I say that. Stevie Culture did a dub plate, and that's what he says at the beginning. Truman International.
No. Yeah. Yeah. I thought I heard some of those some of that music
Yeah.
is nice.
So yeah, no. So that's it. A pleasure again to be here. So Frank, I'll let you start. Maybe the mass. I think we are at the mass
In
in
masses.
masses.
Yes.
Oh, I had a great interview, the way you want to call it, with PT. It was super amazing, very insightful.
Yeah.
My mind was blown again, and I'm sure the ones who watched it probably saw it in my face. I was like, even I was bringing him stuff. Like I said, it goes a lot with demographic and stuff, but right away he didn't disagree, but he put it in why it's demographic.
Right.
And I didn't see it that deep. That is what to appropriate the energy, like the sun, the moon, Saturn, and that each and every religion has their day.
Yeah.
I've never really went into this deeply to realize that, hey, yeah, they all appropriate the word he used. Appropriate. Is it different? Appropriate and appropriate?
Propitiate.
Propitiate.
Yeah. So it just means to basically worship. You're like acknowledging the quality of a particular energy, and by doing that, you're appreciating, you're propitiating, you're like worshiping, you're like and doing that is you're praising higher and divine and whatever the energy is, and then you're also starting to kind of cultivate that energy within yourself at the same time. Also, that propitiation.
Yeah, but it was a pretty relevant everything he said, and I was very delighted by the content he offered. Honestly, it was
Oh my gosh, it was an amazing talk. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. Even me, I'm sure you seen my reaction at the time. I was like, what am I saying here? Like at the beginning, he asked me, he said, how many days in the week? I'm like, okay, this is standard. Like I saw in the video that I was like, is stating. I didn't know what do people are looking for in Canada. Oh, my first answer was consume.
Right.
But I should have been the sun, of course, because it's cold. But he was bringing stuff. So that's the proof that it's not scripted between me and PT. Nothing is scripted. He gives me 2 words. We're gonna religion unmask. And I have to go on with this. So nothing is scripted. So that's why sometimes I'm a bit like even, and it's live and direct. So you have to be patient and tolerant in my reactions and my. I'm trying to do my best, honestly, to not cut him off, to not to just be a good listener. But also at the same time, I have a lot of questions that pop in my head. So I'm trying to juggle both and stuff. So it's not always and it's live and direct on YouTube. So and there was like 46 watchers live.
Yeah.
For me, it's a lot. And it's a bit, it's not nerve-wracking. I want to say that because I'm not nervous coming here on YouTube at all. It's me. You get me raw the way I am, and that's how I am in life.
Right.
But it's always, and I'm with PT. I'm sitting sitting down interviewing PT, even me, wrapping my head around the fact that PT's sitting with me, it's just freaking mind blowing. So all this,
Truly.
I have to brew all this in my head and do an interview. So
Yeah.
imagine. So sometimes I'm a bit discombobulated. I think that's the word.
Right. No, I mean,
Discombobulated.
understandably so, but
Yeah,
I mean, we all super appreciate, you and P getting together. I mean, anytime we can hear P speak is always
yeah,
enlightening. But
that's it.
it's really awesome when you all get together. So I
Yeah. No, it's
appreciate it
just
a
great.
lot.
It's just great, and I'm learning too. And I know people that watch the YouTube. You don't expect. We're just in the process of learning, in the process of becoming who I'm supposed to become. So don't think I'm all achieve here and I'm throw on. Like, come on. It's just a name I gave myself. Okay, you might be saying, oh, fuck, he's got quite the arrogance calling himself through one. Like, I don't know. That's how I thought of it. And I'm very comfortable coming here. So it's not
Yeah,
something, no, it's not. It's not a chore. It's very natural. Boom.
yeah,
That's it. So Frank, mass in masses. That's where I just wanted to say a little something about PTs
totally.
because
Yeah, it
okay,
was.
it was necessary because I saw my reaction and I'm like, shit, Yannick, you should have but the stuff he asked me is because PT. What happened with PT? Is he goes in the basic, and
Mhm.
sometimes you think so far ahead out of the basic that you
Right,
forget the basic, and that's why we're stuck in that mess.
right.
So when he speaks to me, I have to think basic stuff. Like when he asks me the days of the week, I'm like, okay, what do I? The basic is
Yeah, right.
the
Yeah,
standard is 7, but what am I
yeah.
like? Is it in Vedic astrology? Is it in Jewish? Is it like? But the standard is 7. Like for everyone, we
Hmm.
have 7 days.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, he has a really nice way of like picking apart the simple parts of like the structure of the way the world is, and then he can explain like how things are the way they are and why are they that way through
yeah.
this bigger perspective. It's so cool.
And he doesn't go like he said. Did you hear him name any religion? No. He
Yeah,
just
yeah. Mm.
it's not necessary to. He's not into bashing one religion or other,
Oh.
bashing someone or some kind of cult. No. He just
Mm.
puts it at large, what it
Yeah.
is, and that's what I love about PT. Is he's not everything he says coming out of his mouth is positive. You will not hear PT speak negative words. I've never felt a negative vibe with him. So
Hmm.
where other people online often, like I've seen recently on Facebook everywhere, like the people that have some kind of wisdom, but they still go out and bash and try to make a point with
Right.
some muggle out there that bring their vibe down or so
Hmm.
it's just let them. Ooh, my wife has a book, Mel Robbins, Meg Robin, Mel Robin. Anyway,
Hmm.
she has a theory, it's called let them. So yeah, maybe we should
Yeah.
let, just let them. It's
Right.
pointless, let them.
People
So
be themselves.
that's it. The mass in masses, Frank,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you start with this. We're done
Yeah.
with our intro.
Yes, exactly. The mass in masses. Deep down, everyone at some point or other feels small, but when one is actually confronted with something higher, treating one as one ought to be treated, one's reaction is that of unease. Through the peculiar functionings of the ego, one knows one is small, but in society, one is always used to being treated like one isn't. There is a whole net of mutual assurance in place to keep the ego afloat. Thus, the term mass, MAS, mutual assurance society. No real evolution is possible without the ego cracking, something which is a taboo in this celebration of the self world.
Yeah. So we're gonna do the French as usual.
Yeah.
C'est ça qu'on fait habituellement. Moi et Frank lit l'anglais, je lis le français, et ensuite on échange là-dessus. Mais c'est pas le but n'est pas d'échanger en français pour ceux qui parle pas anglais. Là. Le but, c'est juste de moi dire le log en français, puis après ça, on va figurer qu'est-ce qu'il y en est. Là. So, le mass dans masses. Au plus profond de soi, tout le monde, à un moment ou à un autre, se sent petit. Mais quand une personne est réellement confrontée avec quelqu'un de supérieur, l'idée de traiter cette être comme il devrait être traité est obstruée par le fonctionnement bizarre de l'ego. Et la personne se retrouve mal à l'aise. Il, elle, sait qu'il, elle, est petit. Mais la société, elle, est toujours habituée à être traitée comme si elle ne l'était pas. Il y a un vrai réseau d'assurance mutuelle en place pour garder l'ego à flot, expliquant le terme MASS, Mutual Assurance Society, Société d'assurance mutuelle. Je pense qu'il y a même une compagnie d'assurance qui s'appelle de même la Mutuelle Assurance. Yeah, there's an insurance company called like that, Mutual Insurance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Aucune vraie évolution n'est possible dans la destruction de l'ego. Sans la destruction de l'ego. Quelque chose de tabou dans ce monde de la célébration du soi. Yes, that's where we're stuck in the celebration of the ego, and the ego goes in the forefront always once, especially once you see someone that has more knowledge, more wisdom. But I don't even know if you acknowledge that they have more wisdom, because your belief system might keep you locked into some kind of belief that you think are true. So even if someone of higher knowledge than you, higher wisdom, more insight come to you, you will exactly maybe not even realize what you have in front of you, and you will just, because of the belief imprinted in your head and all the stuff you've been fed all your life, and that belief system that you hold, that the ego holds on to, you might not even acknowledge someone higher and someone with actual real knowledge. I'm not talking Neil deGrasse Tyson, not that type of person. I'm talking someone with real knowledge, like example PT. Well,
right.
He would walk beside someone of a muggle, and he will find him weird or something like that. Like something weird would come out of their mouth, but it's like that pretty much for everything except if they wear a robe.
Mm-hmm.
If they wear a robe, now they suddenly look up to those people if they have a costume. And they're into a non-fractal building, something big, something impressive. Now they will follow the teachings. But other than, because the ego also is programmed into this, into following others and stuff like that. So I think we're very much. It's a big work. You have to realize the ego has to be really tame, like a wild horse. It's like you're a wild horse, so you have to tame to make sure that he doesn't go crazy. Because your ego will go crazy on you, will make you do crazy stuff also, will make you indulge in stuff that is not supporting, especially because someone of higher knowledge can also educate you on a lot of things in life, like what to eat, what to wear. Do you know you're wearing plastic clothes? Most of us wear plastic clothes. Just that.
So crazy.
Like, it's totally not supportive of our health and body and stuff, and our radiation and vibe, because we vibe on a deep level. But if you restrain this, that's what happened. It's the death of yourself and the rise of the ego. Like, that's what most people are in. They're stuck in the dead world, but the ego rise to the top. Let go of the ego. Let go of the ego. But for that also is a major work on yourself to let go of fear. Because before you realize exactly that it's what keeps you there, stuck in place. There's tremendous work to be done.
Yeah.
But it can be done. It's just self-realization after all. Once you realize the stuff you have to realize, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop your expansion.
Hmm. Yeah.
Frank shared it with me about the mass and the masses.
Yeah. Mass and masses. Yeah. I mean, he starts out here deep down, everyone at some point or other feels small. So you actually know kind of like your place, like where you stand, in the order of nature and all these kind of things. But he
Oh yeah.
says, when something higher treats one as you ought to be treated, just, not in a disrespectful way, but kind of just like, there is a stature of like where we stand in knowledge, consciousness, awareness, and all these kind of things. There are beings who have a higher consciousness, higher awareness. Um, so, so when you kind of are confronted with your own um, limitedness or your own state, your own level of consciousness, when there's a being who's like a lot higher, it can make you feel uneasy because well, there's a lot of different things like this whole thing's talking about that reassures you that, oh, maybe like we're all equal or we're all, there's all these kind of false notions that are put out there. And like Peace says, this mutual assurance society, there's a whole net of mutual assurance to keep the ego afloat that keeps us like in this state of perpetuating nonsense and perpetuating these ideas about our own self that's not even real. And like P says, the ego is just, the false sense of knowing. So if you operate by the ego, you're just operating by something that's not true, but you think it's true, or it makes you feel better if you look at something from a particular way that makes you feel good about yourself or something. But actually, only real way that you can, feel good and and actually like increase your self-esteem in a real way is actually by connecting with nature, connecting with divine, and connecting with the force, because then you actually start to kind of awaken to like, what is life? What is it about? What is this world? Who am I? Like, what am I inside of? And so we don't have to play these games, where we're pretending like, oh, this is the, where these people are just playing out all these different roles that, it's the whole thing about like something just as simple as like, a rap figure or some musician or whatever that's like, oh, I'm the baddest, I'm the best, I'm the this, I'm the that. But like, what do you have actually? Like, maybe you can like make words rhyme together, but it's actually like, can you like lead people? Can you actually tell people like what's real and what's fake in this whole like illusion that we're inside of, as far as like the way that society is, making things appear, because the world is not as it appears. We're being sold a lot of garbage when the real stuff is just right out there in our garden. Like the real things that we can actually like increase our frequency, our vibration, and our on our health. Like, it doesn't have to be in all these type of terms that are kind of like a little bit ethereal, but like actually like doing things that's going to make your health increase. That's going to make your immune system like more vibrant. This is going to help you to like have a, more positive attitude and positive perspective. I mean, doing all the basics, like connected with nature and having a good kind of diet, holding a good kind of posture, doing your grounding, speaking things that are true. I mean, all this kind of stuff, like you start building a momentum that it just, oh, there's nothing like it. It really,
Like yeah.
it empowers you to kind of like awaken to life's real purpose. And that's, what I found. P is just top notch. Like, I haven't found anybody else who's been able to share things with the depth of detail, and be able to explain simple things too. I mean, just like, how to eat, how to live.
Positively also, because
Positively, yeah.
there's a lot of people out there that will bring you down the rabbit hole with very negative vibe, and like
Mm-hmm.
I said, the negative emotions. and stuff. So P is always bringing us on an enlightened path, but with light, not with darkness. So he's really shining bright, and that's what I picked up in him. It's really the light that he shines in. Of course, if you shine light, you're going to end up in dark corners of the world because that's where the light is needed, in the dark. So for sure, you're going to see him on YouTube. You're going to see him write books. You're going to see him in the world, in the Muggle world, because that's what needs light. So that's why I said no matter who speaks the message, as long as it's positive and something to enlighten or just ignite something in some beings is good. Like, we're so far down the path of retardation. I'm sorry to put it like this, but collectively, that's where we're at.
Things have gone backwards.
We're going backwards and everything. Like, it's so nonsense. There's so much nonsense being propagated that's what it is. At one point, we must shine light, and there is light beings on Earth. It's not just dark beings. If there's dark beings, there's light beings. It's inevitable. So those light beings are working very, very hard to enlighten this world. It can be anyone. It's not who speaks, it's the message, as long as the message gets out. Now we're talking about PT, reviewing PT's book, but could be someone else speaking words of wisdom and positivity, and it's going to get to your heart, and boop,
it's reality.
Suddenly you're going to see the light. Like, that's what it is. It's not because you're going to find, you're going to see the light instead of the darkness. And people like PT, yes, of course, they shine bright. I shine bright, but PT is like 1,000 watt. I'm 100 watt. PT is 1,000 watt.
Exactly.
So that's it. And that's it. So next is the buildings.
Yes. This is good, because now if people haven't been able to connect the dots when you say something like unfractal building, then now we can make the connection.
I say it often on fractal building, and sometimes people, what is? Now we're gonna explain
it. Buildings. What do people really believe in these days? Buildings is the simple answer. In buildings we trust, not God or divine, just concrete, glass, and metal, ugly and unbreathable. That's why they happily send their kids to so-called universities, which is nothing but a bunch of buildings. What do buildings have to do with imparting any real knowledge? They are just impressed by buildings, banks, towers, malls, courts, 5-star hotels. They are the symbol for all that is right and all that is good. Buildings which actually negatively affect the human biology and soul. They gravitate to buildings like moths to a flame, the flames of hell in this case. They think these buildings will last forever and save them from wrath of the higher forces. All the evidence points to the contrary. Time will tell.
Les bâtiments en français. En quoi est-ce que les gens croient vraiment de nos jours? Bâtiments. Yeah. Et la simple réponse. Dans les bâtiments, nous croyons, pas en Dieu ou au divin, juste au béton, verre, métal, moche et irrespirable. That's it. C'est pourquoi ils envoient joyeusement leurs enfants dans des prétendues universités, ce qui n'a rien d'autre qu'un tas de bâtiments. Qu'est-ce que des bâtiments ont à voir avec conférer la vraie connaissance? Ils sont juste impressionnés par les bâtiments, banques, tours, centres commerciaux, courts, les cours, l'hôtel 5 étoiles. Ils sont un symbole pour tout ce qui est légitime et tout ce qui est bon. Des bâtiments qui, en réalité, affectent négativement la biologie humaine et l'âme. Ils gravitent vers les bâtiments comme des insectes vers les flammes. Les flammes de l'enfer, dans ce cas. Ils pensent que ces bâtiments dureront éternellement et les sauveront de la colère divine des forces supérieures. Toutes les preuves pointent vers le contraire. Le temps nous le dira. Time will tell. Bob had a song like this, Time Will Tell, and that's exactly what it is. It's where people are so impressed today at buildings, and as soon as you make something in a big, play a hockey game in the Bell Center in Montreal, look at them go wild, and the more light you give them, the light show, the sound show, the more grandiose you make it, the more they will be absorbed because they do not recognize that this is exactly grabbing their energy,
Yeah.
devouring their soul, honestly, you know?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
all these buildings and whatever it's a church, a tower, whatever building they build today, there's no science behind it. It's
Hmm.
goes against the current, the natural current of the earth, like the telluric
Yeah.
current under the earth and stuff. It cuts everything. So
Hmm.
you end up being in a very, very unfractal. You're not joined with the earth. Like
Right.
you should live in a building where you can also ground yourself. Like
Yeah.
without, you should have, like, if I'm to build a house one day, I will have a room where I can ground myself, where
Yeah.
the
That's good.
ground will be accessible
Right there.
in
Yes.
the house right there. So in the
Hmm.
winter, if I want to ground myself, I have the ground.
Yeah.
So, but we don't think of that today because exactly the programming and other nonsense in society pushing for these concrete buildings. It's a real concrete jungle.
Yeah.
That's what we live in, a concrete jungle.
Hmm.
And people have the nerve to call themselves materialistic. That's another one. We saw a word
Yeah.
in there because they think they care about materials so much that they call, but they do not, they're not materialistic
No.
at
Mm-mm.
all, because they do not care about what material they use to build buildings, to
Exactly.
put on their body, and everything else. So it's very, very, very detrimental to the human body to be stuck in a, imagine when it's a huge building, also the fluorescent light, like I said, the light
Yes.
show, everything in those buildings is very unfractal. So why they don't, if church is about praising divine, why don't you do it outside?
Right.
Like, there should be churches outside. Okay, I get it, it's cold in Canada, maybe in the winter not so much, but still, you still can do it outside on some nice days if you're
Hmm.
so connected to higher and divine, like you pretend to be entering those. You're such a saint because you enter those buildings. Maybe you would have no problem doing it outside. But
Yeah.
no, it's very important also, I think, to contain the energies of people and the vibration inside the building
Yeah.
instead of outside where it can go into the heater. You keep them locked, and I don't. It seems to me very unnatural. All these concrete jungle building we live in. Personally, I prefer just go in nature and no buildings.
Yeah.
Uh, it's much better, much more healthier. But what you want to do? We're in that kind of world we live in. I think it's an evolution also. There is people doing great buildings with great materials, and it's getting there. I
Yeah.
think it's always been honored. There's always been people who weren't so much following the masses, their stuff. There's people that there's always been people grounded with higher and divine on earth. If not, we would not be where we are with the knowledge also that we are acquiring today. So it's a network we're doing together, and we're
Hmm.
growing through the ages with that knowledge. So it's fantastic. And at one point, I'm sure a lot more buildings will be built with proper material and with proper healthy effect on you, like I said, a grounding room and stuff. And
Yeah.
like, I would really like to see that happening. Yeah, definitely. Maybe I'll make it for myself.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buildings is a, I mean, P brings a lot of, practical wisdom into um, our awareness, because I mean, if you do look at the overarching pattern, I mean, that is what we see. universities, the big churches, all sorts of the big cities, definitely the big port cities and everything like that. We're seeing all these buildings. And I mean, honestly, kind of whenever you start seeing what's going on with the world and like how all these kind of corrupt people are operating, these, all of the corporations that are, influencing governments and things like that. I mean, I see these big buildings and I'm like, how many people are dead because of that? You know what I mean? All of the money that is taken to make all that, you know what I mean? Like people are, but that's it. Or for instance, if, you go to a place where, the height of the buildings there are limited, but like Washington, DC, and you go through that place and you're like, wow, this is a lot of like corruption going on here. And it's been going on here for a long time. You know what I mean? And, people don't really like to kind of like face that kind of stuff, but it's, it in one sense or another, it's true. But yeah, like you were saying, like the materials, like having a room to ground in, like that's not like part of our common concept of, a living space or, all the concrete. I mean, I don't know what the statistics are, but I know like concrete plants are like very kind of detrimental to the environment as far as the kind of waste products that come from that. Whereas it didn't have to be that way. There's like hempcrete, that's like that's a newer way or different, things in which we're combining earthen materials to make like a solidified, piece that's going to, help a structure stand, but also be able to, I mean, there's a lot of science that goes into it because in the summer it's going to get warm and depending on where you build. And so the material is going to expand a little bit. In the winter, when it gets cold, that material is going to contract a little bit. So you have to, people have been working with this kind of stuff for a long time in different places. But I don't know if you see pictures of, for instance, like P's land out in India, like he has made some structures out there out of natural materials, bamboo, granite, hemp, and stuff like that. And it's not some type of synthetic pieces with like, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting points that I hadn't heard before that P brings to the table. Just like how fences cut the energetic lines of Earth's like magnetic field, and you mentioned that. And then how even like metal roofs or like metal bars in the windows, like that's also like obstructing certain natural energies to be able to flow within your living space.
Why are the buildings all squared? Like you come in Canada and US also, the houses are all squared.
Mm-hmm.
A rectangle, whatever you want to call it. But it's why not make smooth corners, like so the wind doesn't, so it's aerodynamic and stuff. So but the more it's affected by the wind, the more you're going to consume also, because you're going to consume electricity to heat up your house or whatever. But also the square is a very representative geometrical figure with the builders, the Freemason, and that they use a square and compass because the square keeps you. It's the most simple geometrical form, I think, or something, and it keeps you contained. Where where the circle has no end or something.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think there's like energetic uses for different shapes for different things. Like, I mean, I'm not super familiar, but I did look a little bit into what they call Vastu Shastra, which is kind of like the science, and it comes from the Vedic thing, but it's the science of how you divide a space and like what is appropriate in what region for the home. Depending on like what certain directions are going to be associated to, and then different things like, I've heard a round building is better for something like a business because it can have people coming like in and out, but it's not as good for a home space because, I mean, I've heard good things about squares, that it is a solid structure and this kind of, but, all this kind of is a little bit beyond my capability to speak
Oh, me
about like
too.
with
Oh, me too.
intelligence,
Me too. I'm just speculating here.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just, because it makes, I'm just speaking out of my common sense, if I have any, but I see all those houses squared, but I'm saying square is not very aerodynamic.
No, yeah.
Like our
Mhm.
cars are not squared.
Right.
So, so I'm sure that if you make a building aerodynamic, that the wind is maybe the roof won't lift so much if there's a windstorm.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying like maybe it wouldn't be so affected by tornadoes and stuff.
yeah.
Who knows? But I'm not an expert in building material and building shape structure. I'm no engineer. I'm just speculating.
Yeah.
So, but I know that we are building buildings that are very unfractal. So I'll just leave it like that.
Yeah, and just to like you were saying, like the idea of being a materialist,
Yeah.
really just like taking that for the real sense of like just considering the materials that you're going to use, whether it's what you're going to wear on your body, put into your body, or like live inside of and things like that. I mean, a lot of us, we don't really have, we kind of are where we are. I'm in this home. It's not exactly the way that I would have it made if I had, my choice of everything. But I'm here now, so I have to utilize what I have. But at the same time, we can strive for higher. We can strive for better, so that we do have an opportunity to, be able to make something for ourselves eventually. Then we can try to do it in as natural fashion as possible.
For sure. When I speak on a macro level. Like me
Yeah.
too. I'm very grateful, very thankful for the building where I am. It's probably
Mhm.
very unfractal, but if I'm here and I can speak to you, so but I'm saying collectively, eventually, maybe we will move out of this. Like
Yeah.
everything else, we will evolve out of the materials that is not supportive for our evolution. Just like everything else, will fade
Mhm.
away. So the concrete will fade away, maybe. Who knows? Or a
Yeah.
better kind of concrete, more conductive. I don't know
Right.
if it even exists. Like there's so much possibility, so much stuff human can do that I
Yeah.
am sure we're going to create something better and more
Yeah.
sustainable in the future. That is inevitable. That's what we're doing. We're evolving. This earth is evolving.
Exactly.
You might think it's devolving because you are, but that's not what I see. You see the world as you are. Remember that. And
Right.
I'm evolving. So I see this world as evolving. And the more you project those vibe out, the more it will evolve.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's all vibration and frequency and stuff. So the more in my head that I think this world is evolving, the more it will evolve. The more you think it, the more a lot of people think of evolving, we will evolve. Everything is created out of that.
Yeah.
So simple.
Yeah.
It's
And it
not
takes
hard.
practical action too, like the intent and the thought to make it happen, and then actually, using your body in a
Yeah.
practical way, doing the actions that, you can think that you want to do it, but it also takes like rubber on the road, right? You gotta eat the right thing, you gotta speak the right thing, you gotta, have
It's
it functioning.
very, very big. It's very big. That's why I don't come here pretending because it's so big. And I always say I know nothing because I'll probably at 90 years old still say I know nothing here. So uh,
Yeah.
I'm here to learn and I'll probably learn until the day I freaking take my last breath. So it's nonstop
Yes.
the learning. It's a
So true.
and and it, the amazement that this realm has to offer is endless, endless. Once you
Mhm.
erase everything you've been told or try to camouflage it a bit in your head because it's
Right.
hard to
Right.
erase, it's
I
always there.
know, right? Yeah.
Programming
Yeah.
is
Sorry.
there, will stay there. But if you
Yeah.
don't operate by the default program you've been given,
Right.
you will find this life so glorious, so you will be in a bliss state pretty much all
Hmm.
the time and
Yeah.
amazement. And so it's those feelings that I think are missing to us a lot because Mr. Know It All. So Madame Know-it-all and Mr. Know-it-all. So maybe if you tell yourself that you don't know nothing and you start learning, maybe life will be less depressive, less negative, less stuck into a realm of negativity like many are. Like you will not see the world, you see the world as you are. So bring yourself to a higher state of mind. Look at the world change around you.
Yeah.
Everything will be affected. Even the leaves in the tree, the like stuff
Yeah.
you will realize that will blow your mind. But I cannot tell you these stuff because it's from my own experience and you have to live it. You have to go out there and experience life.
Yeah.
So and feel life, feel it also. It's we're so desensitized to everything that has to do with nature that
Mm-hmm.
we don't even feel life no more. We feel dead inside and
Yeah.
without knowing again, you don't know that you don't know that you don't know. So
Exactly.
all that is on the subconscious level because you think you're big, you think you're bigger than anyone, you think you're Mr. Know-it-all and shit. So you go out in the world with your big ego and pretending and shit, and that's the biggest crime. We've said it. The biggest crime against humanity is you going out pretending you know something.
Yeah.
Think about it.
And you
Next.
don't.
Okay. Heaven. Go on,
Heaven.
Frank. With
Yes. Heaven. What can be said of a planet where the major faction of the population's idea of heaven is shopping malls? Concrete structures full of useless things, air conditioning, and bright lights, which can ruffle any electro-biological functioning. In other words, something really bad for human body and soul. Heaven used to be the name for self-sustaining EM field, which was entered through a fractal life and a successful death, where angels stayed, the angels being the elements.
So le paradis. Paradis. Pardon, je vais juste bouger ça, voir un petit peu de lumière. Le paradis. Que peut-il être dit d'une planète où l'idée de paradis de la faction majeure de la population est les centres commerciaux? Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
Structure bétonnée, pleine de choses inutiles, clim et lumière brillante qui peuvent troubler tout fonctionnement électrobiologique. En d'autres mots, quelque chose de vraiment mauvais pour le corps humain et l'âme. Paradis était le nom pour un champ électromagnétique autosuffisant qui était atteint à travers une vie fractale et une mort réussie là où les anges séjournent, les anges étant les éléments. Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful, but that's what we miss is the fractality.
Yeah.
We're perfectly no, we're perfect fractal, but lack coherency. Total.
Yeah, that's
But
really.
that's it, because I'm a fractal of the source, you're a fractal, but you have forgot that. So you have
Right.
forgot that you're a fractal, so you do not take responsibility for freaking nothing here, except your ego, except feeding the ego.
Right.
So that is very detrimental. And once you start, you know why we log in here tonight? We log in to put a log in our fire. So our
All
fire
good.
inside doesn't extinguish. That's why we're here, to put
Yeah.
a log in the fire. So we
That's
should
good.
all like nourish our fire constantly. You have a fire burning inside. Yours might be on a pilot right now because
Right.
you're not shining bright. But once you start to shine bright, that fire will be ignited and nothing can stop it because you will keep logging in.
Yeah.
So, and that to me is a state of paradise. And if you want to talk about paradise, it's certainly not in a in a centre commercial, in a shopping center.
Oh my
It
god.
has to be found. It has to be found within you. Also, it's within you. It's don't look outside for. Honestly, you shouldn't look outside for freaking nothing. You should look
Yeah.
inside first because that's where you will find answers. You will find the words, the courage, all
Mhm.
the strength, and then you can look outside and have a greater perspective on the world outside. But what we
Yeah.
do the opposite. We focus on the outside and let go of the inside. So the
Right.
inside is rotting, and now it's not taken care of, and you forgot about it. Like you grow old and you have forgotten to feed your fire inside, so you end up sitting on a swing set in front of your house and swinging the swing set for 5 hours a day because that's all you find to do with your old age.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's got to be something else. I always say that to my wife. You will not see me sitting in a swing set at 80, 90 years old. No freaking way. It's not going to happen. There's too much work to be done here. Okay, too much work on this earth to be done for me to be sitting on my ass and thinking there's nothing to do.
Right.
Like, come on. So that's why people end up in boredom, depression, because we said it. They are in a deep rest. So for sure, move out of the deep rest and start creating some joy, some positivity, some light in this world.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think it will not come back to you? Like, what? You don't think you will have the exact effect coming back to you?
Mm-hmm.
Come on. This is where the magic end up. Not lies. I wouldn't say lies.
Right.
This is where the magic is.
Uh-huh.
And you see how I struggle with my word. I try not to bring negativity here and shit. So, but
yes.
Anyway, so that's where the magic is if you're able to really create something very, very positive for this world, something that can, and it doesn't have to be super big. Like I said, we're so far down.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it again, the path of retardation, that it's not something big you need to do. You need to do baby step first, baby step and get to a point where you become 1,000 watt like PT. Anyone can do it. Anyone can get to that state of mind. It's just very big work on yourself.
Yes.
But
a lot of discipline, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's a good thing, that's like, it's so admirable to like work toward that.
Oh yeah, he's an example. But if you have an example, it's because you can reach that state. Like if it's gonna take you
a lot of work.
Like I can't even begin to imagine the amount of night observation and stuff he has done, and just to come with all this divine knowledge and the language he has learned and the Sanskrit and stuff.
Yeah.
Like sometimes he brings me stuff in Sanskrit. I'm like, fuck, man. I just speak French and English. Like, this is valuable. So, no, I like PT for that. He's very... So Paradise, share with me, Frank, your vision of...
Heaven.
Vision of Heaven, Paradise, Paradis. Parce qu'en français, c'est marqué Paradis dans le livre.
Paradise. Yeah, comparable word. It's so funny, the concepts that are in our mind's eye, that aren't even ours. They've just been put there. We've accepted them, as people who've as children have watched all the Disney movies or whatever it is, and then you
wicked.
Exactly. And then you grow up chasing after all the the temptations that the world puts out in front of us. Chase after this. This is the new fad. This is the new material. Like if you are anyone, then this is going to be what you're going to identify with, or be like put on your body, or anything like that. And where are you going to get that? That's going to be at a mall or whatever. So
and often made of plastic.
Yes, exactly, right. So imagine like us as children. I mean, I just remember all the little like action figures. If it was like a baseball player or a Ninja Turtle or whatever, all these plastic figurines, that we, that were like our, desire, and our, if we could only have more toys or whatever, and that's like how P mentions in some of his P logs, how in Sanskrit, wish is actually equated to the term poison. Because if you're just like constantly wishing and like wanting, and these, you're poisoning actually yourself, And
so that's why wish sound a bit like witch.
yeah, that they
Yeah.
definitely connect. Yes, but they've the way that this world is right now. I'm just referring now to this middle section: concrete structures and so many things that can ruffle any electrobiological functioning. In other words, something really bad. I mean, that's what it. So we have an idea of something that's really cool because it's like, oh, these buildings or somewhere where I can go fetch and attain like all these worldly desires, but actually this place where I want to get that is going to make me decrepit and decompose and sick, but what the reality is that P points to us is heaven actually is the name for a self-sustaining electromagnetic field. How do you get to that point? A fractal life and a successful death. It's it's through very simple things, taking the natural world, because the way that divine has created this place, it made it that way for a reason. It made certain foods for us to be able to take in and not to like manipulate them, and to the point in which we're making ourselves sick, or like that's why P says, go for the old seeds or all these materials that are here on this earth. I mean, there's a lot of technology, there's a lot of material technology that has been replaced with just like synthetic things that temporarily might be quicker or might make a certain people more money or something like that, but in the end is making people sick and is making the world sick too, because the earth is just having to take in all that toxicity from creating those shortcuts that are in the end they're not getting you anywhere.
That's it.
But yeah, heaven is we can get closer to a heavenly state by living a life which kind of loops back to divine, loops back to nature, loops back to the heavens and the stars. And this is an amazing vlog.
Yeah, and also I wanted to point something here. I forgot. It slipped out my brain. I wanted to bring something else, but fine.
I know. Sorry, I saw you like wanted to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to say something. I was close to the mic, but I didn't want to cut you off, so I'm like, I'm gonna wait. But now it slipped out, so it's pas grave. It doesn't matter. Next, we're gonna do hospital. I think hôpital en français. I guess it's hospital in English.
Yep. Hospital.
Yeah.
Hospital, a good place in the mind of the masses of this planet. Whosoever is getting them built is considered a good person. Just some children seem to be afraid of it, for good reasons too. What it really is a cold, concrete, unfractal hellhole, lit up by mind-numbing tube lights, made to suck the life out of any biological entity. It is a place where they administer poisons and do butchery. It's better to die in an open field than die in a hospital. It's the very opposite of a place of healing, which is always made up of natural materials and cures, and all cures are natural as well.
OK, les hôpitaux. Les hôpitaux, hôpital. Un hôpital, un endroit bien dans l'esprit des masses de cette planète. Quiconque les fait construire est considéré comme une bonne personne. À part que certains enfants en ont l'air effrayés. En ont l'air. Je pense que there's a faute, there's a word that should be placed behind. I would say, à part que certains enfants en ont l'air effrayés, et pour de bonnes choses, et pour de bonnes raisons. Ce que c'est vraiment, c'est un taudis froid non fractal en béton, allumé avec des tubes lumineux qui engourdissent l'esprit, créé pour aspirer la vie de toute entité biologique. C'est un endroit où ils administrent du poison et font de la boucherie. C'est mieux de mourir dans un champ que dans un hôpital. C'est l'exact opposé d'un lieu de guérison qui est toujours fait de matériaux naturels et où toutes les cures sont naturelles aussi. Ça, c'est, I think, the most important part, que toutes les cures sont naturelles in the hospitals. What do they give you as food? Just the food they feed you in the hospital.
Like, it's so obvious right there, right?
Like, you should see it right there. You're sick and they give you fucking chemical food. Like,
Yeah,
it's not even food. It's not, I don't even call that
no,
food.
it's
It's
a package.
nonsense.
Yeah.
Package. I don't know. So just that realization should make you get out of there fast. Or like, you will go to the hospital. Like, I had to deal with the hospital after my knee accident. I dislocated my patella. So I had to go to the hospital. I had no
You're right.
choice. It's
Yeah,
that, or I'm gonna have a severe consequences from that. So for a trauma, for something like they should call it trauma center. You
right.
know, just trauma center, not
Mhm.
hospital. And you go there for trauma only. You don't
Right.
go there to get cured for cancer or whatever freaking place stuff you
Mm.
have. I wouldn't go there personally. I would
Right.
not telling you what to do with your what you have or
Of
something, but
course.
it's not my place. But
Yeah.
personally, I wouldn't enter that for my general health. That's what
Right.
I'm saying. For a trauma, definitely. To give birth, maybe, but even that, there's places a lot more healthier to give birth than an hospital. You
Oh
watch
yeah.
what they're gonna do with your children once you pop them out. They
Mhm.
take
Oh
them
my
right
gosh.
away, start
Yeah.
to stand
Don't.
there, and
It's not good.
like crazy stuff. So
Yeah.
we know what happened most of the time in hospitals. So I don't probably, and for sure, people that build them are seeing like saviors because
Yeah.
to the masses, they will eventually get sick and need hospitals because probably because of the nonsense that they eat and stuff. Maybe
Right.
they feel like they're gonna need an hospital. Personally, it's the last place I want to end up in my life. I'll do
Mhm.
everything in my power not to end up in a hospital.
Same.
I don't know what can happen to me. I'm not the master of everything in my life. I give
Right.
that to higher and divine, my destiny. But my destiny, not my destiny, is made of actions. It's
Right.
according to the actions I take. But for the outcome of my life, I leave that to higher and divine. I don't worry about that. I don't think
Mhm.
about that. I
Yeah.
don't. And if it has to happen, and it's meant to happen. So I mean,
Right.
but I don't think of it. But in this world, we think a lot of different sickness often because we hear it also a lot on TV, like it's projecting to us a lot on I don't watch TV personally, but I know people do watch TV and I
Right.
seen TV in my life. I know what's on
Of
TV.
course. Yes.
So I know it's filled with nonsense and programming and stuff. That's why it's a TV program. Anyway,
Yeah.
so all these program you watch will affect you, affect your thoughts. So at one point you might think you're gonna get ill or something, or who knows what goes through our freaking nonsense brain. Sometimes there's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff going through there and a lot of thoughts that are not ours also. That's
Hmm.
the thing. What you're thinking is not coming from you most of the time. And that we don't even realize it. We go on day by day, not
Exactly.
realizing that all these thoughts, is it coming from like, so the work that have to be done is enormous, definitely, but I think it's always possible to realize with certain little things, like I said, the food, like PT said, once you realize that you go there once a day, once a strong end, once a
Hmm.
strong. I don't like to use the word weak. You understand
Right.
why we're not weak here? We're
Yeah.
not weak anymore. We won't. I'm done. Freaking done with the weakness.
Right. Right.
I say that often to him. I'm freaking done. And
Uh,
I have to say it. I say it.
yeah.
Probably I catch myself saying that 5 times a day. I'm freaking done with this. I'm done with this. I'm done because I'm
Mhm.
done. I'm done with the nonsense and
Right.
the
Yeah.
nonsense people, nonsense building. Not like I prefer be in nature and just in nature with the sun shining on me, absorbing. And there's something very, very mystical with the sun. It's very mystical.
Oh
The
my
light,
gosh, definitely.
heat coming out of there, the sun rays hitting your eyes. Never mind the shades and the sunglasses, or however you call them. Just look at. I'm not saying to look directly into the sun at 2 o'clock
Right,
in the afternoon. It's not what I'm saying, but just to not have sunglasses, the rays comes in. You don't have to look straight at it.
right.
It's coming in. If you
Hmm.
don't wear nothing over your eyes, it's coming in. So,
Yeah,
and this is very important also for the whole balance of your life. Like you keep yourself so much into darkness and dark thoughts and dark shades and sunglasses, and it's so nonsense when I see them with sunglasses, unless you really need it for a health
right.
reason, which is possible.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
But usually they're very, very big and dark and they cover your whole face.
yeah.
That I get it. But the
Right.
little Joe Blow that goes around and take his little walk with his sunglasses, full sun, or not even sun outside, not even sunny, and they still have sunglasses.
I know, it's so true.
No,
Or
but
the
when there's sun, I
sunglasses
get it.
at night. People will wear sunglasses at night too. It's like,
I wear my sunglasses at night.
yeah.
Who was saying that? Corey Hart, I think.
Uh,
Back then, I was young. Ooh, that's been a while.
right.
So anyway, but he
Exactly.
sang it for a reason.
Exactly.
So anyway, so that's it. Hospitals is a very, like I said, it should be called trauma center and trauma center
Mhm.
only. That's my humble opinion.
Yeah.
It's good for trauma, but the whole rest, general health, I would go more to a holistic center
Yeah.
or in nature, just in nature. But again, it's because you don't have also the knowledge of what's good in nature for you. So you never have learned plant medicine and mushroom extracts and stuff like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So you probably don't even know about it. So all you know, that's why your ego again brings you to places like that because that's all you know.
Yeah. Right.
Most people, that's what it is. They don't in their world that there's nothing else but an hospital to take care of them.
Right.
So I think nature can take good care of you just eating avocados and stuff, and it
Oh
will
yeah.
keep you like I eat avocado every freaking day.
I love avocados.
It's not a day go by I don't eat an avocado
Yeah.
because I know it's good for me and I feel good. I eat stuff that and I don't care eating the same thing every day.
Hmm.
Keep it simple in the gut. You won't end up in the hospital.
Yeah.
People eat freaking bottom feeders and all kinds of nonsense. They eat freaking anything. Like keep it simple in the gut. The gut is your gut health is so important.
Oh my gosh. Definitely.
Oh, like so all this will prevent you go get the knowledge what is a good gut health.
Right.
Follow your gut. But yeah, I think we all have possibility to not end up in that kind of building. What do you think, Frank?
Yeah. The the hospital situation is it's real, like you said, like nobody wants to go there. There's a reason, why, and he
Children are
mentions it
afraid.
here, some, just happens to be that some children are afraid of it. But yeah, it's always a really like righteous thing or something, that people would go and build hospitals, places or whatever. And so like you said, there's a place for it in terms of a trauma center. If you get a limb cut off, you can just say, okay, well, that's it. This is the end of my life. Or you can go and get it sewn up and fixed or whatever. Or, if you break a bone or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, the allopathic medicine, Western medicine, has honed in on being able to kind of like fix some of those traumatic situations to where you'll survive. You won't die because of that kind of thing. But actually being able to, cultivate good health and sustain good health, most of that is diet based. And then, depending on the season, or if you're exposed to some kind of environmental toxicity, you can get sick. But there are natural cures and remedies to being able to, cleanse your body and purify your body from those kind of things. herbs are an amazing. There's a lot of different types of herbs, so that's a gigantic topic in and of itself. But it's a very promising avenue that actually you can, if you have certain types of imbalances, you can utilize herbs to help regain balance or get extra nourishment or detoxify yourself in certain ways. And you use that in addition to your diet and particular lifestyle and behavioral type of routines and regimens that you implement for yourself. That's so there. I mean, I think the three big systems is like there's and they all came out of the Vedic thing. So there's Ayurveda, that's the main point, the main one. And then from that, Chinese medicine, and then Western medicine, which is allopathic medicine. Those came out of Ayurveda, the ancient texts that were recorded, in India and South Asia back in the day. But I mean, it's a very worthwhile place to look to Ayurveda or Ayurveda, people call it that too, to be able to just learn how like each of our particular bodies work, and then what are simple practices that we can implement, throughout the seasons. As the seasons change, we kind of change our diet a little bit. I mean, this isn't like some like news flash. I mean, we know, it's cold season. Yeah, you eat warm soups. You eat like hot beverages. The summertime comes around, you eat cooling foods, more like salads and like cucumber and like fresh juice or something like that, these are like...
I just made a pea soup. It's December. I don't eat that in July.
Yeah, exactly, right.
That in the winter.
Yes, that is very much a seasonal kind of thing, So, kind of like living your life according to the environment that you're in, and the season that you are in, and then also your particular constitution. So some people are going to have a little bit more fire, so they don't need to eat as much spicy stuff. They could eat more cooling foods. Some people are going to be a little bit more like watery or earthy, and so they might need more like hot, spicy, fiery kind of things, practices or foods that, keeps their body working well. Some people are going to be more airy, and so they might need more kind of like grounding, stabilizing type of things. I mean, so these are like the three humors: Vata, Pitta, Kapha, Vat, Pitta, Kapha in the Ayurvedic lens. And there's so much. I mean, it's so rich. It really it curtails each individual's life experience. You can make it just individually for you, the way that's going to be best for your body. And then you figure out how to do that through the seasons also. And I mean, it's so detailed, and it's just like magnifique, it's so it's really awesome, really.
No, I think with the proper diet, like you say, there's ways to avoid those unfractal hospital building. It's not a given. It's not for sure, but you put a lot of chance on your side, avoiding, I don't know, you can craft dinner. I don't know what to give you as example. Twinkies.
Right.
You want to name the toxic food tonight? We're going to be here all winter. So we might as well end this there and say just avoid toxic food and read labels. Like if you can pronounce the word, it's a good indication. So, but it starts with very, very small actions. Your awakening, your self-realization of who you are and what, and will you ever realize fully? Who knows? Maybe with proper action, proper diet, proper enlightenment, maybe, but for sure, you won't go very, very far with feeding yourself Kraft Dinner and Twinkies constantly. So it's not supportive. Like, go with nature food. Maybe it's going to help. No, I don't want to tell you what to eat. It's not my place.
Yeah. Yeah, each it's a journey for each of us, and so there's little guideposts that we can seek out and we can find, and P is definitely that, for us and for many. He really gives amazing advice and guidance as to how to kind of start to make sense of the world and how to start to live a natural way that it's really gonna, if you stick to it, it's really just gonna like boost up your life like exponentially.
Make
I'm
you
so
feel
grateful.
more alive. Alive food will make you feel more alive. Will
Hmm.
make you feel more vibrant,
Yeah.
more on fire. I
Hmm.
don't know how to put it. I feel on fire so much. I'm like a human bomb. Anyway, that's why I come here and I boom all the time.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So greetings, everyone. We're out, and that's it. Was an honor, Frank, again to have you on the 2-month show.
Yes, look forward to the next one. Always.
And that's it. We'll be here next Moon Day. Moon Day? Is it Moon Day today? No.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Moon Day
Yeah.
today. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And that's another thing. We don't state things the way they are. We don't name things the way they are on this earth. And the proof is also in the proofs in the pudding all the time. Look at the days of the days. Look at the days of the week. Like, it's so nonsense to just say that the days of the I'm in the days during the week. I know. I don't need to repeat it. Just so I struggle a lot with words. You're gonna see me struggle. So yeah, so I lost what I was gonna say now. The days of the week. Yeah, we don't state things the way they are. And
Yeah.
why don't we call Monday Moon Day and Tuesday is what planet again? Tuesday is Taurus.
Mars.
Mars. Tuesday is
Mars.
Mars.
Because if you
Wednesday is
say in
Mercury.
Spanish, so what is it in French? Because in Spanish it's martes. So
Mercure.
what is?
Mercure.
Yeah. So is that kind of like Mars? Does that feel like?
Mercury, Mercure. Même
So
affaire.
is Mercure, is that Wednesday or is it Tuesday?
Wednesday.
Okay, yeah.
Mercury, it's mercredi. Mercredi en français.
Yeah, Wednesday
mercredi.
is like Woden's Day. That's where they get Wednesday from. But Wednesday comes like Spanish is miércoles. So you can hear it. You can hear it a lot easier in that language,
Yeah, that's
French
it.
too.
Thursday is Thursday. So is what?
It's Juves, which is
Jupiter.
Juves. It's Jupiter's day, right?
So that's why in French we say jeudi.
Mm-hmm.
Jeudi, Jupiter, jeudi. C'est close. And Friday is vendredi.
Yeah, and that's viernes, which is VIE. It's viernes, so like Venus, Freya.
Venus. That's Venus. Okay, Venus, vendredi, Venus.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not a big connoisseur in astrology stuff. Honestly, I'm just starting to dig into this. I don't pretend to know anything here. I'm starting to look into PT's book.
Right.
Look, I look up to the sky just like everyone else. I'm not saying I know nothing. I know there's the moon, stars, and the sun and all that, but to go in the 27 portals and I think astrology is a lot about joining dots, just like here on Earth. You have to join the dots. Like that's how you're gonna see clear the big picture by joining the dots.
Yes, like the light bright.
As above, so below. So astrology is a lot about joining dots. I was looking up last night and I was seeing the stars. I'm like, these align perfectly. You can do a straight line, like they align almost perfect.
Yeah.
So there is some kind of alignment happening up there also. So they're joining dots. So I don't know. Something tells me we have to join certain dots here on Earth. So anyway, Frank, that was a pleasure, honor, everything, all the good, positive word united together to describe my feeling.
Yeah, so enjoyable, just to like review like truth and beauty, and it's an honor really to be able to review this work. It's so amazing.
Just to be able to have the benediction. I don't know if we can say that, the benediction of PT to do this.
Yeah,
is amazing. It's amazing. He trusts us both. Also, I'm not here to bash anyone, not PT, not anyone. I'm not.
Right.
I will never do that here. I have too much love in my heart to start being negative on YouTube. And if I come here to be negative or something, please comment. Let me know.
Right.
My vibe is not right. If something is off, please let me know so I can do better. But I think I come here with who I am, myself, the way I am. And I think that's enough. I don't need to sugarcoat it and make fireworks with this. It's just as I am. So you get me as I am. So and you get Frank as he is.
Here we go.
So we're out. See ya. Much
Next
love,
week.
everyone. It's all love.
Yeah.
Always. We're out.